let's get back on track. And the aim of this evening is we want to introduce to you who we are as the study coach team, what exactly we do, why and when you should contact us, and of course how. And we want to focus on various elements that we know that students struggle with in normal times, let alone in a global pandemic. And so we're going to talk to you today about motivation, some great study habits and routines to help you concentrate, the issue of procrastination. We're going to try and give you lots of helpful study tips, and then at the end, if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them. So first of all, this is the study coach team. There's 6 of us. My name's Kirsty Donald, and I'm here this evening with Alishka. And we've also got 4 other study coaches who you may well recognize. Some of them are Year 1 tutors, Year 2 tutors, and also skills lecturers. And we're the study coach team, and we work throughout the week helping you to basically with your studies. So if you want some more information about what exactly we do, please visit our folder on Blackboard. We've got a special study coaching folder where you can go to, and there's lots of helpful documents there. There's a blank study plan if we ask you to make a study plan, and we can help you with that. Also a year overview that you can send us so that we know whereabouts you are with your courses. And then we also keep up-to-date useful documents there, such as the program and examination regulations and other useful contact information. There's also a folder where there's lots of useful study coaching tips. We make our own knowledge clips, and we also upload useful videos and websites to help you on all sorts of aspects of essential study skills. We particularly help Year 4 eligibility. For example, if you don't have enough credits, it is written in the PER that you will need to make an appointment with a study coach. And so there's more information about that specifically for Year 4 eligibility. Year 5+ students have a special folder with some useful documents as well. And if you need perhaps some special facilities, extra time or other aspects to help you with your studies, there's also a folder there to help you, because we also help facilitate students who need extra special facilities. So what exactly do we do? Well, we try and help you be successful, and we do that in various ways. We want to give you useful study tips. We also really want to minimize any study delays that you may have. So if you feel that you're getting off track, please contact us. Together we can create a study plan, we can have a meeting and talk through it. We can also give you advice. That we can advise you. Some of you might have complications with your OSIRIS, particularly if you've been in the program a while and courses have changed. We can talk to you about that. We can advise you according to the PER and certain rules in there. Year 4 eligibility, as I mentioned, special facilities if you feel perhaps you need extra time in exams. And of course, all of this would need to go through the exam board. So if you do need to make a case with the exam board, we can help give you some advice with that. So why would you contact us? Well, as I mentioned, one of the main reasons might be you just need help getting back on track. You might already have a study delay, or you might be feeling stressed about things and needing help with organizing. We can give you some study tips, Year 4 eligibility I mentioned, special facilities, and also just contact us if you don't know where to ask. Sometimes it's confusing who's the right person to ask, or you can always ask us and we can point you in the direction. Now, we're study coaches, so we help you with your studies. Obviously, there's also the thesis supervisor who can specifically help you with the thesis. There is also the student counselors who can help you with more emotional aspects, whereas we tend to focus on academic. But if you don't know where to ask, just contact us, email us at law-studycoach@hhs.nl and we'll get back to you. And if you want, you can set up a meeting. Otherwise, we'll just communicate via email. So that's who we are. And now I'm going to hand over to Eliska, who's going to ask you about why you're attending this workshop.
So, hello, good evening. Thank you, Kirsty, for the introduction. Yes, I would like to quickly go to Mentimeter for 2 short questions, just to know who is here with us and why are you here, what are you looking for. So you can see the QR code or you can see the code as well. And I would like to ask you to go there and stay with the first question. I will change the slide and I will start sharing my screen so that we will actually see the Mentimeter. For some reason, I don't see chat, so I cannot put the code to the chat.
I will do it.
Thank you. And I will start sharing Mentimeter. And I would like first to ask, where are you currently based? Because we switched to online mode. I believe that a lot of students are in their home countries, and it's just interesting always for me, at least, to know who am I attending meetings with and who is here with us and where are we located. So please, can you see the Mentimeter?
Yes.
Slide? Great. France. Hello to France. I'm trying to go quickly through the responses. It's super slow, but let's see. France, the Netherlands, Germany, Italy, Slovakia, Germany again, Netherlands again, Slovakia again, The Hague, Romania, The Hague, Netherlands, Poland, hometown, hello to Poland. I see that a lot of you are either based in the Netherlands or still in The Hague. Estonia, hello to the north. And a lot more, Germany. I'm not sure if we are not repeating ourselves with the responses now. But thank you so much for sharing. Russia, okay, great to hear, to see. Thank you for responding. Spain, all good. So we see that we are located all over the Europe from what we saw. And I would like to switch to the next question, which is, why are you here? Why are you at this workshop? And I'm not looking for long elaborations on all of your study issues, but if you could try to summarize what is the main struggle, what would you like us to help you with, or what kind of tips are you looking for, that would be great. Mentimeter is a bit stuck, but let me go back to the presentation of the second slide. You should be able to access it already. Okay, you should be able to see. Please do not be scared to write the sentence and let us know. Procrastination, motivation, tips for exams, concentration, motivation, how to start, many receipts. I find it difficult to keep up with deadlines, fear of failing, Thank you very much for sharing your concerns and issues like of motivation and focus due to personal or mental problems, calmness, motivation and focus during the lectures. I just want to pass the exams. Great. Thank you so much, everybody, for sharing your main concerns and struggles. And if you look on the screen, you basically see the agenda of today's meeting. We will start with motivation and then go more towards the organizational perspective of your studies, how to make a good atmosphere at home, and some tips for taking notes, how to prepare for exams, how to stay focused during your lectures, and how to approach this online education. And towards the end, we will also talk about procrastination. So I'm really happy that we are on the same page here, and that we will, or I hope we will provide you with what you are looking for. And with this, I will stop sharing my screen, and I will take the word back to Kirsty, who will start with the motivation part first. And thank you very much for interacting with us.
Miss Donald, you're on mute.
Thank you. Okay, thank you everyone. And we're going to start with that biggie, motivation. So I'm going to try and give you some tips, and here we are. Let's start. What you believe you can achieve. And as you can imagine, motivation is a very mental thing, and the way that you think can affect it. So try and think positively about what you can do, but also it's good to be aware of your mindset. Now, do you think that intelligence is fixed, just like eye color? Do you think that people are born a certain level of smartness and this can't be changed? Or do you think that intelligence can be changed with effort? Anyone? So what this is all about is the difference between fixed mindset and growth mindset. And depending on how you answer, what I'm going to encourage you now is to try and adopt more of a growth mindset. If you have a fixed mindset and you think that intelligence can't be changed, you're only so clever, then this will affect the way that you learn and the way that you react to feedback, because you'll want to maybe protect the way that you are perceived by others as being a certain amount of cleverness, and you won't want to embarrass yourself. You'll see failure as a terrible thing. Whereas if you just have a growth mindset, then you can see mistakes as learning opportunities, failure as ways to improve, and just that by putting in effort, you can become more and more intelligent and better with a legal mind.
I'm sorry for jumping in, Kirsty. I'm stuck with your slide called motivation. I don't know if others can see your small, beautiful, amazing slides about growing mindset, but I could not. So perhaps if it's possible to reshare your presentation so that we can see your slides.
Thank you, Eliska. I will attempt to share again. So here we are. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. And this is basically it, the difference between the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. And I encourage you all to adopt a growth mindset. So, engage in classes, and this will be easier if you do have a growth mindset, because you won't be embarrassed about saying the wrong thing, making a mistake. So just unmute your microphone, get involved, ask questions, engage with the material, and just basically get into the right frame for learning. With the subjects, really try to find something interesting in it. Obviously, there's going to be subjects that you prefer than others, but all subjects have some aspect of interest, and try to find that area that is stimulating. We're all online, but treat it like as if it's a normal lecture. So make sure that you're on time, come prepared, and you need to read before the lecture so that when the lecturer is speaking, the information is just confirming what you've already read beforehand. And while you're listening, you'll be more confident about asking questions because you'll have already been prepared. And then you can ask questions about the topic. Really try to understand the topic rather than just memorize, as this is a much deeper level of understanding. And one of the best ways to check whether you understand a topic is to try and look for gaps in your understanding. Basically, you can do this by trying to just teach the subject to someone else. It can be a friend, a family member. It can just be to the mirror. But once you start trying to explain it, you'll soon realize if you really have grasped the topic or not. And basically, there are different levels to learning, but we learn 95% of what we teach others. So this is an excellent way to prepare for your exams, rather than just passively either reading or listening. Also, talk to your classmates. We're all online, but try and simulate it as if we are here in person. So get in to make study groups. Also message individual classmates directly to keep that sort of interaction. And I recommend starting a study group, probably no more than 4 people. Select the group of friends carefully. Make sure that you're all ambitious, you all want the same thing, but it's really positive to have a study group because you'll all have strengths and weaknesses. You'll all enjoy certain subjects more than others, and you can help each other, particularly with preparing for exams or discussing before an assignment. Now, if you do struggle with motivation, I don't know if you're aware of this, but actually on YouTube, there are now these study with me videos, and you can put one of these videos on, perhaps of another law student, studying away for 3 hours, taking some breaks. And this sort of can feel quite comforting and also encouraging to you as well. So that could be a tip. But if you really are struggling with your motivation, please just reach out. We're here, the study coach, so contact us via email. We can organize a meeting. We can have an initial meeting, but what we can also do is set another meeting with you for perhaps at the end of the quarter, just before the exams. And then you will know in your diary that you're meeting with one of the study coaches. And this could be a bit of extrinsic motivation, that you know that we're going to ask you, what have you done? Have you handed in the assignments? And this could just be a little push that you need. Sometimes these meetings only need to last 5 minutes, but at least you know that you're going to meet us, and it could just help give you that push. Of course, you've also got your Year 1 and Year 2 tutors who can help you with your topics, Year 3 coaches, perhaps your thesis supervisor. All of them can also help you if you're struggling with your studies or perhaps with the understanding of certain topics. But if you also need help with motivation and it really is becoming an issue, then there are the student counsellors. We have 3 in law who you can make an appointment with, and the link is on our Blackboard course. And they can also refer you to the student psychologist as well, if that's needed for you. So there's lots of support out there, but also look into yourself and try and find the intrinsic motivation. And a good way of doing this is to ask yourself, why do you want this law degree? And perhaps you can write this in the chat now. Why do you want this law degree?
Ms. Donald, before we continue with with the input to why the degree, I see we have a question.
Okay.
Yes.
I can't see the questions, but let me maybe come.
No, it's me. Yeah, I think, can you mute yourself because I think we hear ourselves? Yeah, okay, well. Mrs. Donald,
Yeah.
can you mute yourself because we hear ourselves?
Okay, I will mute myself.
Yeah, my question is like, so obviously I know that teachers are really, really busy, but like my mentor, my year 3 mentor is not replying at all. And I think sometimes it can be a bit discouraging. Like I don't know, like I know I'm not an isolated case, sorry, but it's a bit like complicated when you really want advice and you're trying to reach someone, but you're not like I don't know, I guess heard or answered to. So I was wondering if you had like any insight on that and if you could like maybe share like things you know about this and like, because it can be a bit problematic for us as well.
Thank you very much for that question. And I can imagine that this is, quite stressful for you when you don't hear back and you want to ask certain questions. So in this sort of situation, you can always contact us. You can always contact myself. I've given you the law study coach email, but you can also see that my email, if you wanted, you could contact me, and basically just to let me know either the particular question that you have that perhaps a particular lecturer or coach is not answering, then perhaps I can see if I can help you with answering that, because as I said, we want to minimize study delays. So if that's perhaps a hurdle with stopping you from studying, then I'm happy to try and answer that for you. And then also we can I will have some insight if there's a particular reason why the lecturer could not answer, maybe perhaps they might be ill, but feel free to get in contact with us in these situations. Does that help?
Yeah, somehow, yes, thanks. Sorry.
Also, is it possible to make a chat public? Because I cannot see chat, so I'm not sure if the setting is that there is no chat, or if somebody can tell me what is the situation with that.
I am gonna look into that, and in the meantime, while I try to make the chat public, Veronica has access to it, so she can read the responses that we get.
Okay,
I will try to fix it,
but there are no replies yet.
So, okay, can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay, so what I asked was, why do you want to do this law degree? And it could help you with your motivation to remember the reason that you wanted to do that. And if people could just put that in the chat, that would be great.
You can also tell us. We will be happy to hear from you.
Yes.
Yes, I see a hand of Rogers.
I really want to do this degree because it's a step for me to go to the university, and I really want to fight for innocent lives like children, especially children.
Okay, thank you. That's a very noble reason for wanting to do the law degree. Would anyone else like to share with us your reason?
Sarah, did you raise your hand?
Hi, yes, I would say mine is not an end goal. I would say like it's a continuous path, and each time I would have a new goal to set, which would always change according to the circumstances, the new interests I find. But why I want the degree is obviously to be able to practice in a like as a legal profession, and yeah, so I don't have one specific end goal. It's just a continuous dream.
Okay, thank you. So there can be many reasons why you want to do it, but I would recommend taking the time and making a list that's personal to you. You might just want to learn and develop yourself, get a good internship, get into a good master's program, have a meaningful career, like for instance, protecting innocent lives. You might want to become a lawyer because you want to provide well for your family, your children, and maybe also your parents in the future. You might just want to live with no regrets. Make a list about why you want to study law, and then put that on your study place and read it when you're feeling unmotivated. This can be a great reminder to you. Also, have a think who inspires you. And maybe there's a famous lawyer that you really look up to. Maybe there's someone else who's just had struggles, they've gone to university and above all odds have achieved great things in life. Think of different people who inspire you, who you look up to, who you would like to emulate. And this can also be motivating.
The presentation is stuck again.
Is it stuck again? Where am I stuck?
You're stuck on the why do you want this law degree, the target.
Okay, just one moment. Let me reshare.
It's evening. Teams are tired as well. Yes, now we see Barak.
Yes. So basically, yes. So I said, make that list, put it somewhere. Also think about who inspires you. And here I'm just going through some pictures of some inspiring lawyers who you might want to emulate. We've also got a mentorship program in the law study coach team, and that's made up of students. And please, if you're interested in volunteering for this, either as a mentor or as a mentee, please get in contact and let us know. Basically, we pair up two students who have similar interests and who can help each other throughout the period of their studies. It can be a really positive thing to help other people being a mentor, and this can help motivate you. But also, if you feel you would need someone to really help and advise you, then let us know that you would like a mentor for yourself, and we can try and match you with another student. Motivation, so it's a mental thing, and basically I'm now going to just give you some tips about some positive habits to get into. It's about training your brain, but not only studying. Make sure you get enough rest, at least 8 hours, but sometimes students need 9 or 10 hours sleep to recover. Also, take regular breaks. Don't cram, don't overwork. Make sure that you get refreshed, and then you can come to it all positive again with a new energy. Feed your brain. So there are certain foods that are really healthy and give certain nutrients to your brain, such as salmon, dark chocolate, beans, berries, nuts, avocados, all that. So think about that and feed your brain, and this can have positive effects. Also, just getting outside 30 minutes a day, walking, get that blood flowing, and that can also make you feel better and more positive. Sports psychologists have known this for a long time, the power of visualization. Basically, visualize yourself being successful, and this will help create certain pathways in your brain towards helping you be successful. Fake it till you make it. And don't think about the end result, that particular grade. Just focus on the process of getting there. And these are the habits that we're talking about today. And also think about distractions and try and get rid of them. So I think we all know what are some common distractions that you have when you're studying. Well, what I recommend is any of these distractions, try and just cancel them out, particularly in those study moments. So if necessary, turn off your internet access, put your phone on flight mode or in another room. You could mute your group chats, use earplugs, delete all the games on your phone or tablet and computer, just to have that moment of concentration. My husband always laughs at me because back when I was studying, probably before Facebook and the internet, I was at home for a couple of weeks before my final exams at the age of 16, and my mum, because I didn't have the discipline not to watch daytime television, she would take the television and put it in the car and take it to work every day so that I wouldn't watch the television. It worked, thanks to my mum. I did get good grades. So I think just try and eliminate distractions, particularly at those crucial moments when you're preparing for exams. And if you don't feel like starting, just set a timer for 5 minutes. That's all. 80% of people will continue studying after those 5 minutes. But even if you don't study after those 5 minutes, at least you've done 5 minutes. So that's all you need to do. Just start. And don't expect to feel motivated all the time. Nobody feels motivated all the time. So don't worry about that. The thing is, that's why we just need to build up good study habits and routine, and then that will help you. And now I'm going to hand over to Eliska, who's going to talk about some of those good habits.
Yes, thank you, Kirsty. I will wait for you to mute yourself because it's echoing. Okay, I will share my part of the PowerPoint. I hope it's working well. We started with motivation because without motivation, I can give you 100 tips of how to execute your study habits and make study atmosphere. But if you want to be motivated to do that, basically that's the first step that it will all die, right? Because you need to find the inner motivation from inside, from outside, and remind yourself, why are you here? Why have you applied for this program? Why did you make it already till year 3 or year 4? And then once you have this good base of the reasons why you are doing that, you can start executing on how to do this more efficiently and what can you actually improve and get better. But I would really recommend you to do those exercises that Kirsty told you, especially the one with answering the question, why are you studying this program, and what is your long-term goal? Because then perhaps by doing these little small steps of improving your study habits will bring you closer to this goal. I will talk about study management and study routine. I will start with the study atmosphere at home. Then we will go to the time management and how to organize yourself. I will give you some tips about habit trackers and how to implement new habits in your daily life. I will also talk about how to handle a lot of announcements from Blackboard and your inbox and not to feel overwhelmed with everything, basically. And now I'll shortly talk about note-taking strategy and preparation for exams. I was really hoping I can get the chat working so then we can interact more. But if that is not possible, I would like you to talk to me. So we will start with the study atmosphere at home, and I show you this picture, and I would like to hear from you. What do you think is wrong with that? or is it a good approach to distant learning? Who recognizes themselves? And what could be the negative effects of somebody studying in bed in pajamas with a cat on the head, basically, and just improvising the school day like that? Can somebody give me a quick assessment of what's wrong with this picture? Yes, I see some hands up. I don't know who was first.
Yeah, I will. So I can only see last name. So I have Vrooman.
Yes, let's start there.
Okay, hi.
Hi.
I thought that it would be an issue to study in bed because you'll be sleepy, and it will also be harder to get to sleep if you study in bed.
Yes, very good point. Like you're just too close to be so comfy, and yeah, I'm gonna lay on one side just for 5 minutes, and then 2 hours are gone, and you are way too comfortable to put your brain in a circumstance of, oh yeah, I am actually here to learn something. So I think the bed is a very good point. What is wrong with that? Do we have further ideas, Miss Stoyan?
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Because, well, obviously the cat is the problem as a part of the distractions around you. And also the back pain is horrible. When you try to study in bed, not only you are getting sleepy, but it's not comfortable at all.
Yes. Thank you very much. Very good point. Distractions, standing in bed, and bringing this very unhealthy habit, and basically doing your body not a good favor at all with this kind of posture for writing. Miss Chakarian, do you have some further comments?
Yes, everyone's mentioned everything I could notice, but one more thing is the fact that she's still in her pajamas, because I think it's a good thing to like get out, have a shower, wash your face, and change your clothes, so you already feel like, okay, now it's time for studying and to move from the bedtime sleeping phase.
Great, thank you so much. A very good point to have a routine, right? Like if you were going to school, you would change from pajamas, you would not stay in bed, and there would be this kind of transformation from the moment of, yeah, I'm here at home, I'm resting, and then, yeah, I'm actually at school here to gain some knowledge or skills, and I need to focus on something. And there is very important to bring a habit into your life which will change these two stages of your day. I'll show you next picture. Is this change already good enough? Opinions.
Well, change of location, but it seems the same mood. PJ and actually lying.
Yes, exactly.
And I don't think he's actually studying because he looks happy.
Yeah, so there is probably Facebook or Twitter or something on that screen, or even worse, some games.
I don't think that anyways the couch is a much better option than the bed.
Yes, exactly. It is still something that we connect with relaxing, right? So it's also for our brain. We need to feed our brain that we are in an environment which will actually bring the study atmosphere to us. So what we can take out of our discussion and the two previous pictures is that the more you simulate school environment, the more you program your body and your brain to actually focus on something and study. So if you change from pajamas, you bring a routine that, for example, you make a breakfast or you do 10 jumping jacks in the morning, and any kind of routine that will bring this moment of changing from resting at bed and changing to environment where you actually study. Even if it's in the same room, there should be a change from pajamas. Definitely, you don't need to dress up as if you were going to an oral exam, even though there is this new recommendation of online behavior. So you are expected now to use webcams, to have appropriate clothing and representative background. So that comes with that. Pajamas are not even allowed anymore, and it's definitely in your favor. And what I also recommend is to watch full class at once, because if you were at school, you would sit in the lecture for 90 minutes and you would not have the opportunity to stop it and go for a walk or go smoke a cigarette in the middle of it and then come back. And some of you, when I asked at the beginning, what do you struggle with? Some of you actually said that you struggle with staying focused during lectures. And try this. Try to turn on the lectures, sit down, bring some water, make yourself comfortable, but not too much, to stay focused, and try to watch the whole class in once, because if you were in school, you would also have to go through it all in once. So it will also make you more efficient during the day, that you will not spend 4 hours with one lecture, but only 90 minutes, which it actually took. And the next tip is to actually have a study place. So if you have a comfortable study place in your room, or if it's a dining table, or whenever around the house it is, make that place, make it as schoolish as possible. Make sure that you have that you are sitting, you are not distracted. If you need, buy earplugs. If there is a lot of distractions at home, it's normal that there are other kids, siblings, parents on home office. Everybody is struggling with distractions, but try to find a study place for you, what will work, and what you need to improve, and perhaps earplugs could help, or something. And my next tip is to actually get involved in classes. I believe that now, if with the cameras on, this will also bring some change, that you will feel also more involved and encouraged to talk to lecturers. And because if you get involved, you will also then easier follow up what is being discussed. And if you read beforehand, you participate at classes, something is unclear, ask. This is the space for you, right? You have a workshop and the lecturer is there for you. If they wanted you to read something at home and educate yourself, we don't need workshop times. You don't need online moments when the lecturer is present. So take advantage of those moments. Don't be afraid to ask questions, because if you ask questions, it means that you actually prepared and you read the material, and perhaps it was not clear, which is fine. We are here to clarify it for you. And I would like to encourage all of you to get involved in classes, talk to your lecturers, talk to your schoolmates during the group time, for example, because usually there is silence in those groups once we divide students in groups, but it's a pity, because it's your time to actually discuss the matter. I would like to move on from study place to time management. One of my favorite memes. So everybody can read that, this girl is just napping and recharging her batteries. And at the same time, it's afternoon and she has something due in the evening, and she's already delayed with a lot of lecturers that are waiting on Blackboard. And I also understand that some of you recognize themselves. And once you get in this loop of being delayed, it's really hard to sometimes, find a way out of it. But there is always a way out of that. Even if you're terribly delayed, it's only about organizing yourself and starting somewhere and going step by step. And one day you will find how to actually approach this from the beginning and not to get into those loopholes. If you're asking where to start, what should I do? I believe that one of the best documents available on Blackboard in order to organize yourself is the study year planner, which this is a picture of period 3 from this document. It's a long, big table. I believe all of you already saw it at least once. And it shows how the quarters are divided, which weeks are exactly which days. You all know that the assignments are due in week 3, in week 5, in week 7, or actually this block, it's Tuesday, week 8, because we have the Easter break in the middle there. So you already know, you already see in front of yourself when are your deadlines. You can make notes, you can print it and put it on your wall close to your working space, and it's at least something to use. And definitely you need to know what is ahead of you in order to be able to catch up with those deadlines. There are a lot of time management tools that you can use. I would recommend thinking about what is more natural for you. For some people, it will be paper agenda. For some people, it will be making a table in Excel, printing it, putting it on the wall. Perhaps you like to be digitalized, so you will use Outlook agenda. You can see that I created this random Outlook agenda, which includes prepare for tomorrow's workshops, workshop A, workshop B, meeting with thesis supervisor. So you can put in the agenda all your tasks. You can also put there times when you need to prepare yourself. And when you fill the whole week, you will actually see that there is a lot of free time. So you don't have to mind that, you don't have to worry that, oh, but I will not have time to watch my TV show. You will see that there is actually a lot of time to watch your TV show and scroll on Instagram. But if you fit those study moments and lectures in your schedule, you will already know what is in front of you, and it's easier then to stay on track basically with everything and to prepare. I also recommend using notes on Microsoft, or also Mac has a similar option. So then you can keep to-do list and you can just keep changing, and once you do something, then it gets shorter. You can make one separate window with everything important for this quarter, as you see, for example, assignments, deadlines, what you need to do for the portfolio or for the projects. So just think about what will work for you, and either use the tools available on your computer, buy an agenda, type in Google monthly planner template, and then you can immediately start somewhere. This is the monthly planner that I used to use, for example. So for me, it always helps to visualize also, as Kirsty said. Once you see something in front of yourself, you either have a vision there and you follow that vision, or you have in front of yourself very clearly that next Friday is the deadline. So you know, you already prepare your brain that in the upcoming 7 days, for example, there will be time that you will need to draft that assignment, right? So it's always good to know what is in front of you and be on top of it, and not be surprised by deadline in 2 days that you were not aware of, because all the information is available to you. It's on Blackboard, it's in course descriptions, your tutors keep reminding you. So there is just simply not an option of you not knowing, it's only of you not looking for those information. So make sure to, now it's beginning of the quarter, make sure to check what you need to do, what is due when, so then you can plan yourself and still have enough time for, free time activities, and you don't have to go crazy every day 24/7 because of school if you organize yourself. This is how it should not look. On the left side is a very nice agenda of waking up, morning walk, academic time, creative time, lunchtime, blah, blah, blah. And then on the right side is a reality that we do not want to implement, of watching TV show, eating lunch and watching TV show, etc., etc. So how do we actually start a habit which was not in our routine before? Let's say you are very inefficient, procrastinating all the time, sleep till noon every day, very delayed with everything, not knowing what to do with your time at all. It's very good to do baby steps and just try to implement something, right? So you can try to implement, I will wake up every day with my first alarm. I will not postpone it 10 times. So you can try to implement this habit, and you can either download a habit tracker application to your phone. You can use something available on your computer. You can have a paper agenda, and you will write that your habit is that you want to wake up with the first alarm. And then for each day of the month, for example, if you manage, you can paint it with green. If you don't manage, you paint it with red. And basically you motivate yourself because you want to have green fields, right? Like every person's brain wants to see green fields. You don't want to fail yourself. So if you will be giving yourself these baby steps, it doesn't have to be like 15 new habits starting tomorrow, very strict. No, that will not bring a lot of fruits to your new habit life. But if you start with 2 or 3 habits, perhaps waking up on time, or for example, watching all lectures at once without stopping them, or doing reading materials, like try for 1 week to be efficient and try to do all the readings to see if there will be some difference in your experience with study. So definitely one thing is to be motivated. That's always the ground. I will repeat myself again, because if you won't find the inner motivation of why are you supposed to bother yourself with organization and habit trackers, that's something you should work on at first. But then really think on what will help you personally, if it is a paper way of tracking, organizing yourself, if it's something on your phone because you like to use applications of different times. There is a lot of unpaid apps. Or if you are a geeky person who likes to have Excel for everything. So think about it and try to implement it in your life. And by habit trackers, you can try to bring new habits in your life that can help you again with your study progress. Here are some summary of what I just said. Is basically important is to take time to organize yourself, because it's important. I call it that I have a date with myself. So from time to time, I'm having a date with myself, and I'm reflecting on what's going on in my life, at work, if I'm handling it well, if it's out of control, if I am efficient and organized, if I am waking up on time, if I'm doing well with my diet and exercise routine, for example. So it's good to sit down, making a tea or whatever you like, and just thinking about how do you approach this study at the moment and what could you do differently. And once you come up with that, then you can think on, okay, like how will I actually exercise? Like how will I execute my plan? So which tools will help me? And you can remember this presentation, some tips that I gave you. You can just Google templates of planners. You can try to check the App Store on your phone to see what could you try using. And then I will use one of my favorite quotes, like even if you get better in something 1% a day, it is still a progress, right? So you don't have to reach high, as Kirsty said. You don't look at that goal. The goal is somewhere there far. But if you look in the small baby step that you can do right now or tomorrow, and I actually recommend doing it right now, because you can always postpone for tomorrow or Monday or next quarter or next academic year. But actually, I encourage you to try to do something as soon as possible, because then it will bring fruits as soon as possible. This quote is by James Clear, who wrote the book Atomic Habits. And if you are someone who likes to read, I highly recommend that book. Then for some techniques on how to be efficient and bring your habits, Pomodoro Technique is one of the very, very famous ones. Pomodoro Technique means that you have this little egg in your kitchen that you use for cooking, but you can actually use it for your time of studying. So you can put it on 20 minutes, and you will just sit at the table and you will do something for those 20 minutes. Once it is done, you will track it for 5 minutes. You can listen to 2 songs. You can walk around the house, do some squats or check Instagram. And in these 5 minutes, when it's done, you do 20 again. And by finding your own flow, that will work for you, but you will know that the time of studying is short, so you will at least have the motivation to stay till the end and wait for this little egg to ring for you. And it's something that helped a lot of people, and it's one of the most famous studying techniques. My other tip on the right side is that the best view comes after the hardest climb. So if you look at your to-do list, and there is 10 tasks, 7 of them are average annoying, and 1 is like super terrible, you don't want to do it, but you know that if you don't do it, you will not pass the course. Do this one at first. Because if you start with the hardest task on your to-do list, after that your to-do list will not look so bad anymore. So if you get rid of the worst item at first, your life will be much lighter. You will feel so proud of yourself, and you will breathe easily, because you know that the worst thing is out of the way, and now you only need to go through the small ones. Because if you do it the other way around, you will be doing tasks one task after another, which are pretty easy. You are getting rid of things on your to-do list, but the to-do list will still look terrible, even if it will have half of the tasks on it, because there will still be this one sitting elephant waiting for you, and you don't want that. You want to get rid of that, and then have a nicer working agenda ahead of you. So I encourage you to try do that as well. And one of my favorite quotes, be your own cheerleader, you know, like nobody else will do that for you. Of course, your mom supports you, you have best friends, and you have perhaps a study group who support each other, and there is somebody who is cheering for you and who wants you to succeed. But at the end of the day, it's you sitting there at the study table. You are doing it for yourself, your future, your career, etc. You want that diploma and you want it in your CV, and you want to get a good internship, and etc., etc. So try to cheer up yourself, like once the motivation will be getting low, and try to remind yourself why are you doing that, and where are you reaching.
If I can add, you can
Yes.
also, if what helps, it's also like actually writing it down on notes or papers, and then just having them all around your room or your house, you know. And I think that that actually really helps, because then you have a constant reminder of why you're doing it, and maybe why you're doing, you know, those tasks that are not your favorite, but you know that you know the reason it's right in front of you.
Thank you. It comes with the visualization. You see it around yourself, it comes into your brain more easily. So definitely a good tip to make little notes to remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing, to stay motivated and to encourage you. Then I have last few slides from my side. It's about announcement and information gathering, because everybody is very overwhelmed with so many Blackboard announcements that come to your inboxes. And then there is also a lot of Blackboard either courses or general information and internships and theses and study trips and ILSA and other associations. So my point is not to just simply ignore or delete what comes to you, but have an efficient way of how to deal with that. So you can do that, for example, with creating folders in your Outlook. So you can have folder events, you can have folder courses, etc., etc., or useful info. And you can just, you know, once the email comes and it's super not important, you don't care at all, just delete it, you know. And if it's something, for example, events or workshops, then you might be interested, but at the moment you don't want to read about it, just put it in folder workshops, events. Perhaps you will go back to that if you will feel like you want to attend something. You know, if it's something related to courses you are taking right now, you can either follow Blackboard and check announcement and find the way how you stay organized with it, or you can again have a folder courses you are taking right now, and then you will see all the announcements in the folder. So basically by that you can keep track on what is interested for you, and then you can just simply delete immediately what you believe that it's not even in your concern or not something that you want to read at all. And the last slide from my side, I believe, is note-taking and preparation for exam. Is as I said before, it's all about strategy. So it all comes with planning. So you know this study planner. You know exactly when are exams, when are due dates for assignments, and in order to be successful during your exam period, you need to prepare for that since week 1 of the quarter. If you start in week 7, you will be very overwhelmed with a lot of information and lack of sleep, and then you will be sleep deprived and depressed when the exam comes. So it's very good to stay coherent from the beginning, make good notes. That's all that it needs. Like you need to make notes while you're doing readings already. And what I recommend you is to use already brackets to put sources of information. So when you do notes for courses or while you are attending workshops, make notes and put in brackets where is this information coming from, because during the exam you need to quote, and having the source already in your notes will save you a lot of time, because you will know which regulation of European Union it was, or if it was a book who actually said that, or etc., etc. So, and if you have one document with coherent notes, you can then during the exam use the Control F function. You can find everything, and if you prepare good notes, then you will also be more efficient in working with those notes. As I said before, active participation during the course will also bring better conditions for you in order to, you know, if you prepare and if you talk to students or to lecturers, you are more involved and you are already learning while attending workshops, and you are not just passively sitting there waiting to people to educate you. You are not know what they talk about because you are not prepared, and then you need to rewatch it in week 7 anyway because you need to prepare for exam. So if you do this job beforehand, you read and you are there actively present and listening and making notes, you will save a lot of time in the weeks before exam comes. And as I said, exactly, take advantage of workshops, online moments, etc., and come prepared, because that's all you can do. You have the time for it now, and you don't need to rush. You have few courses. It is a lot of information perhaps if you try to do it all at once, but you don't need to do all at once on Monday. You have the whole week to prepare for the week after, and if you stay organized and coherent, then you can smoothly study towards exams and then tell what you do during the whole period. And last but not least, my favorite quote: do something today that your future self will thank you for. That's how I motivate myself sometimes when I am lazy or I don't want to do something. And then I remember, okay, Lishka, but tomorrow you wake up and you'll be happy that you actually did it today, and you don't have to do it tomorrow together with all the other tasks that I will delay for that day. And then I will remember to be my own cheerleader, to push myself a bit and tell myself that I can actually do this. I'm not so sleepy. I can still finish this one task. And that's something that I would like to give you today, to try to implement that in your lives. And I will give my word back to Kirsty, and she will talk about procrastination.
Thank you, Eliška. Yes, so indeed, I think we all know about procrastination. I think we can all be guilty of this at times. There isn't anybody who doesn't procrastinate sometimes. But what is procrastination? Now, some people might think that it's laziness, but it is not. It's actually an active process. And we're going to talk about that. Now, some people think, oh, but if I leave things to the last moment, I actually work better under pressure. And of course, you do get this adrenaline rush when you wait until the last moment to perhaps complete your assignment. The thing is, if you do this long term, it can be extremely draining and not good for your health. But the procrastination cycle, basically, you're thinking about a task and you get anxious about the task because the task seems difficult, or maybe not very nice, not very interesting. So you think, okay, I'll do it later, and then you feel better. But what you need to try and do to overcome procrastination is build resilience so that you have a willingness to experience discomfort, so that you are prepared to do these not so nice tasks. So you're prepared to do some long reading, something that's maybe intense, and then you'll feel better later. And in order to try and do the example, well, it's good to be aware of some examples of procrastination. I think we all know ways. My home was never tidier than whenever I had exams. I could find a lot of cleaning to do. Maybe you find other more interesting things than cleaning. But basically, I want today to give you some tips to stop procrastinating. And as Eliška said, one of the main ways is to be kind to yourself. Think about the ways that you talk to yourself. Think about the ways that you talk about certain subjects, about certain assignments, the way that certain lecturers mark. Don't necessarily say, oh, it's going to be so difficult, it's going to be so hard, what's the point? Stop the negative talk and try and make it more positive. And in order to do that, it's a whole new process, perhaps for some of you, to just stop that critical way of talking. But it's essential to be more motivated and to be successful. Encourage. You could, I get it, it'll be uncomfortable, but you'll be done soon and then you can relax. Instead of saying it's difficult, maybe it's challenging, or once you get started, it will be easier. You can do it. As Alishka said, just be your own cheerleader, and you can phrases, and as Bianca said, you can also write them on post-it notes just to encourage yourself. If you do find yourself doing that negative talk, and we all do it, can you still hear me? I see that there's bad network quality. You need to create a pattern interrupter. So stop yourself from doing that negative talk all the time. So whenever you find yourself saying something like, I can't do this, I'll just fail again, I've got so many resets, you need to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you just do it. You just do an action. This is a positive thing for when you want to put off something. And you can do this not only with law and subjects, but you can do this with all sorts of things around the home. So as soon as you think and look at something, oh, I need to do washing up, rather than putting it off, just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just do it. And just go and do the washing up. Oh, I need to take the rubbish outside. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just do it. And as you start to do things that are always possible, you'll start building these healthy habits. Another thing, when you're talking negatively, just say to yourself, cancel, cancel, and then turn it into a more positive thing. So rather than saying, oh, that subject is so difficult, cancel, cancel, that subject's challenging. And as a list friend, sometimes tasks can seem very overwhelming, and this can cause us stress. This can make us procrastinate because there's always something nicer to do than a huge overwhelming task. But just break it into chunks. If you've got to write a law assignment, first step, just get out the course description. That's where you begin. If you've got to study for exams, just say, okay, I just need to open my law book. Then once you've opened your law book, just say, I just need to read the first page. Read the first page. I just need to underline keywords. I just need to write down the most important points. You can just do little steps and then see where that leads. Remember, you just need to commit to 5 minutes. 80% of people will continue after those 5 minutes, but at least you'll have done 5 minutes. It's better than nothing. So those are the tips to sort of stop procrastinating. And then once you have done the positive thing, make sure you reward yourself, or just try and make the task more enjoyable. Eat some nice dark chocolate, feed your brain, or play some nice background music, treat yourself to a relaxing bath afterwards. So be kind to yourself is basically one of our main messages. And that's it. I hope we've given you some helpful tips. I want to tell you, keep calm. We're here. The study coach team is here to help, as well as the student counsellors, your tutors. And you are all awesome. You're doing an amazing job in a global pandemic. We're here to help, and we hope that this evening we've given you some tips, but if you need some more help, then please get in touch. And now I'll hand over to Bianca, who can see if there's any questions that you've got for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much to both of you. Indeed,
Thank you very much.
Yes, very helpful advices, and also some tools that I never thought of actually using. So thank you, and I completely agree with your last words as well. That however we are doing, however productive or not we're doing, we're still in a global pandemic. So we're still doing a great job, even if it's slow. We are doing it, and it's awesome. So thank you. And yes, now if we have any questions, if you can try to type it in the chat. I know it's not possible for everyone, so if you can just please, raise your hand, and then we will give you the floor, yeah, to talk.
Well, in the meantime, I wanted to say thank you very much for this presentation, because who knows me knows that I procrastinate a lot, even though at the end, I mean, I managed to do, and I think that's, during your presentation, I was thinking that the problem sometimes, and it's something that, of course, we have to work on, it's that at the end, when you see that you get the work done anyways, you enter in this loophole and you say, even if I procrastinate the next time, it's gonna be fine anyways. So, but you gave us very useful tips to break these habits of ours sometimes, and thank you.
Yeah. Okay, well, so, okay, I see a hand raised, Sarah.
Hi, yes, first of all, thank you for the presentation as well. I took some notes on the tips and I'll try to implement them. But I just have a question, because the thing is, before I do anything, I write down, let's say tomorrow what I've got to do, like I've got to answer these emails, I've got to read 30 pages, and most of the time I cannot achieve even 50% of the work. And then obviously I get disappointed and sometimes demotivated. So what's the tip to avoid this disappointment?
I can answer that. I think that the important is to stay realistic. So if you make a to-do list which has 30 tasks and you will have 3 hours of free time to do all of that, that's not going to work. And perhaps how you can go around it is to have a to-do list of, for example, a week. So what do you need to do in this week? And then every day in the evening, you can try to break it down into to-do list of what will you do the day after. And you can try to put in brackets behind the tasks, how long should they take, for example, like very, like, that you think that assignment will take you 3 hours and you will end up with 4 hours at the end. But for example, answering emails or organizing yourself, that it will not be more than 20 minutes, for example, so you can try to fit it, okay, let's say half an hour after my breakfast, or this is something that needs more attention, so it will take probably 1 hour. So try to make a realistic plan, and do, if you don't manage to do all the tasks, it's fine. Then you know that next time you need to reorganize it differently, or that you need to do less tasks per day. But definitely do not give up on to-do lists or organization. Just try to find a way that will work for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and can I just add, I mean, often with these lists, I mean, you just have to be realistic that they are ongoing. And again, just try and just change that mindset. Don't be disappointed about what you haven't done. Congratulate yourself for what you have done, because that's really great. And sort of make sure you take that time at the end of the day. I did this, I did that, I did that. Great, okay. And now I'll transfer these points over to the list for tomorrow. It's still progress, so it's good.
Thank you. We have a question in the chat. Cami, a student of third year, is asking, sometimes due to time differences, students have meetings or classes late in the evening. So she's asking if there is any advice that you could give for keeping motivation anyways and not burn out by these weird times that sometimes they have to bear.
Yeah, from my perspective, again, you need to find what's working for you. And if you know that you need to have attention for something at 6 in the evening, I would, for example, not have a huge dinner at 5, because I would know that if I have a huge dinner right before that, I'm going to be sleepy and tired. But I know that if I have a snack, for example, and I organize my day so that, I have a bigger lunch during the day, and then I have a snack there, and perhaps I will go for a walk half an hour before I have my evening classes. I will try to bring some focused mind to myself. Again, there are students who are having classes early in the morning, and that's the same, like trying to find a way how to wake up and try to keep up, and then how to organize the day around it. So perhaps you will do an extra break, or you will have food earlier or later, or if you exercise, if you can move the exercising time again earlier or later because you feel a certain way after you exercise. So try to again think on the bigger scale of the whole day and your routine and what will actually help you. And if it's coffee, if it's exercising, if it's food, nap, anything. So think about how to make yourself in a mode that at certain time you will be focused, because only you know what helps you with that.
Thank you.
Do we have any further questions? Then I have a question. I have a question. What will you try to implement in your study life, and what are you excited to try to, think about or change in your daily routine? If this meeting was helpful for you, yes, Mr. Rogers or Miss Rogers.
Definitely a weekly planner and time management, and also like putting my phone away if I wanna study and stuff like that, because I know that I get so distracted by my phone.
Okay, great. Good luck with that. Definitely great points to start with. Ms. Proman?
Yes, I'm going to try what you mentioned about the emails, since it's something I've been struggling with a lot, and it's really stressful to have 600 unopened emails. And even if you delete them, it just blew my mind. So thank you for that.
Yes, good luck. And once you just do it, you spend an hour with that and you clean your inbox, that feeling of having a clean inbox, I don't know, like for me, it's very close to like cloud nine. So yeah, good luck with doing that. And once you manage to have it clean and make organization way how to, delete or organize, it will only be better in the future. It's just the hard task to clean it at first. So that's the elephant on the to-do list. Okay, Miss Stoyan?
I was actually doing this right now with the inbox. It's really satisfying. I recommend it. Actually, I don't know very much about Outlook, but it's a great chance to discover all those tools and things. Also, thank you, because even though I planned to change my schedule so many times, actually hearing from you who inspire me, basically you increased my my interest in changing my schedule. And also thank you for all your great advices. They were very helpful. So thank you again.
Okay. Thank you so much for these kind words. And Miss or Mr. Odeline?
Yeah, it's Miss Adeline. I just wanted to ask, because you mentioned, I don't know, the online behavior, I guess. I was wondering, like, because I don't think, unless Veronica and Bianca have heard of it, I have not heard of it. Have you?
Yes, I think that there is a new code of conduct for this quarter, and I hope I'm correct, but basically we are requested to, in theory and practice, go to the online classes like dressed up as if you were going to lecture. I mean, normal clothes, but as if you were going out, and put your cameras on. And then I don't know what else is part of it actually.
Yeah, it's mostly some advices, and it can be found in your emails as well. But there isn't big changes from how we're carrying out the online education. It's just they advise more to to put the cameras on, and to act, behave, to have to be how you will be in person, so not in your PJs, maybe snacking and whatever. But also the lecturers because I know sometimes the lecturers encourage the students to put cameras on and everything, but maybe sometimes they will opt to not do so. So you can just try and check with them. But I know in most of the cases they really do appreciate, and at least for me, I like that now it's kind of a rule because I'm getting a little tired of not seeing everybody, and so it's nice.
Yeah, and from the lecturer perspective, is also the atmosphere in the class is much better when there is interaction between students, and if you see each other, you tend to discuss more. So it should definitely help your study progress as well. I have the document of the online behavior, and we would like to send you a follow-up email to all people who signed up for this event anyway, so we can make it an attachment to that email. But it's on Blackboard or on the intranet, published somewhere. Okay, Miss Chakerian?
Yeah, so what I've learned is like stop panicking and start doing.
Great summary of today's session. Okay, Miss Tranka?
Hello. I really like the idea with the mentoring. I didn't even knew that we could actually do this, and I am really looking forward to join this mentorship. And also, I really like the idea with the colored habit tracker, because I think it would be really motivating to have everything on green. And I would really want to thank you for organizing this meeting, because for me it was really helpful, only hearing that I'm not alone going through these problems. And yeah, it was a really good idea to organize this meeting, and thank you for it.
For the mentor program, you can go check our tab on Blackboard. You will find information there, and it comes with the announcements, because we send multiple announcements about that, but with all of those emails coming to your inboxes, you just missed that probably. So that won't happen in the future if you organize your inbox.
All right.
And for more information, our tab on Blackboard, you can find everything in there. I see one more hand from Miss or Mr. Tremk.
Hi, I was just wondering where the presentation will be posted, because my classmate sadly could not join.
Yes, I have recorded the session. I did remember to record the session, and it will be available on our YouTube channel, so you can watch it there, and maybe there were some parts that were concerning things that you actually are struggling more with, so you can rewatch that part, and yes, it will be available. And I would like to actually take this chance to also remind that we will have our amazing study coach team again as guests for 4 more sessions, and each of these sessions will be targeted to each year of the program. So, we will be discussing, for example, more things relating to year 1 students, year 2 students, and so on. We will soon make an announcement, and we will really, really encourage you to participate and sign up for those events as well. But yeah, and before I think we call it a day, are there any last questions?
Well, not a question, but to follow up on all the comments that were made, I really appreciated the tip that you gave on saying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and do it. Because sometimes it happens that you procrastinate so much and then you just do it. And when you do it, you just feel so much better. So I will try to implement that one. And also the Pomodoro Technique, you called it, right?
Yes.
I try to do it sometimes during exams week, and maybe sometimes I do it for 1 hour. Maybe 1 hour it's too long, but it was very nice to hear it, and I will try to use it when studying or when reading, because we get distracted so much. And so yes, but I don't see any more hands up or questions in the chat, so yes.
Okay. Yes, and yeah, I actually haven't mentioned because I have a long list of things that I would like to implement, but also things like that really did not even cross my mind, like the Outlook folders. I knew of their existence, but never crossed my mind to actually make them and to think that how much they will help. And then yeah, I've definitely the Pomodoro technique that's gonna stick for certain, and the habit tracker, because I'm struggling really when you mentioned the yeah, taking a track of your sleeping habit, and that will definitely try to implement it. And then yeah, like all these apps and Google options that I want to check out to make myself even more organized, and in my to-do list, but definitely keeping it more real, because I noticed that at least for those that actually do have the to-do list, we tend to over charge ourselves with so many tasks, and then not being able to have them all done. And I realized that that's so unmotivating, and it really puts me down at the end of the day, not being able to actually have crossed all the things on my list. But something that the last thing that I wanted to say, when we have this to-do list, I think it's nice either to cross maybe with a more with the same color the things that we have done, or maybe have two columns. One it's like the things to do, and one the things that we have done. So you know, we actually see that we are doing things and it's progressing. And but yeah. So yeah, thank you very much again. And yes, I will say it one more time. It was very, very, very helpful, and I'm happy that you accepted to host this event with us, and that so many students joined, and because they really needed some advice. And again, I invite you to stay tuned to find out the dates of our following events. And before I let you go one more time, I have another reminder. It's about our event, another event that we're hosting this Friday. We know that next week it's gonna be the start of the spring break. So what better way to actually start the spring break than a game night that ILSA is organizing this Friday at 6:30 after lecture. So you have time to get a snack, a drink maybe, and then join us and playing some games online. But yeah, thank you again. And I look forward to see you and to see you in our next events. And good night, I will say at this point.
Yes. Thank
you.
everybody
It was
for
a
staying
pleasure,
with us
really.
till the end, and
Thank
for
you for
inviting
now.
us to join.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.